Hey guys, welcome back to L&D Home. In today's video, we are going to be sharing some winter DIYs with you guys. There is nothing worse than taking down all of your Christmas decorations and suddenly feeling like your home is just really plain until the next holiday. So creating winter DIYs is a great way to keep that cozy, inviting vibe in your home even after all of those Christmas decorations go back into storage. Let's go ahead and jump right on in and see these easy peasy winter DIYs. For our first DIY, we're going to be starting with this wood hanging decor from the Crafter Square section at Dollar Tree. I'm just going to be cutting off the twine because I am not going to need that. I am using the antique wax for the very first time. I've had it and have never used it. And I left this part in just to show you that everyone makes crafting mistakes. I was testing it. I thought maybe it was the gray on my brush. No, that wasn't it. So I ended up having to give it a really, really good shake, which I did, but apparently not good enough. After I gave it a really vigorous shake, then all of a sudden it was the color that I expected it to be. I will also say though, I wasn't expecting it to be so watery because it's a wax and I've seen other people use it in videos. It looked a little bit thicker, but it was a little bit more watery than I bargained for. To get in those crevices, I just took a paintbrush and made sure I got in all of those little areas on the side and then just wiped off any of the excess with a paper towel. I'm going to be using this little miniature grapevine wreath. I got this at a garage sale a year ago. I have a ton of them. And I'm just going to be trying to squeeze it on here, maneuvering it where it's a little bit lifted. It's not all the way to the bottom, and just trying to make it look as nice as possible. To hold it in place, I'm going to be attaching it with some hot glue just in several different areas so that my grapevine wreath does not go anywhere. Now I'm just taking this candle from Dollar Tree and I'm just kind of positioning it so that I can add some pine cones and kind of figure out where I want to put everything so that a Dollar Tree candle can fit in. I wanted to use a Dollar Tree candle so that it was nice and cheap and easy when I wanted to replace the candle, and I didn't have to use like a $5 or $6 Walmart candle every time. So I'm just gluing down some of my pine cones, and then I'm going to go in this next step with some Waverly plaster chalk paint. And I'm just going to be giving it kind of a flocked look. Since it is a winter DIY, I want it to look a little bit snowy. I did this all over the pine cones and the grapevine wreath, but not the actual base. I'm now taking some scrap eucalyptus that I have left over from Walmart, and I'm going to be just cutting off little pieces, hot gluing that all around my wreath, just sporadically in places that I think where it looks good. I really like adding greenery. I think it just gives a nice cozy touch to any DIY, and I'm just going to continue doing this until I have it exactly the way I like. And here we have our finished DIY. I absolutely love this. I did add a little bit of that chalk paint and flocked the greenery a little bit. And the fact that I can replace a Dollar Tree candle with any scent that I want makes this absolutely perfect. For our next DIY, I'm going to be using this wreath frame from Dollar Tree, and I'm using this scrap fabric. I actually got this on sale. It was like 4 yards of this fabric from Walmart, but I thought those baby blankets or even a scarf or one of those little mini kind of throw blankets they have at Dollar Tree could be a good option as well. I'm making sure that I'm putting on my finger protectors because that hot glue seeps through fabric really easily and you can burn yourself really quick. Trust me, I know. I'm going to be starting on the back of the wreath, and I'm just starting where that tag is so I get a good hold. And when you do this, you just want to make sure that you're stretching out your strips so that it doesn't get really bunched up. I'm going to be wrapping around twice and then gluing after every second wrap that I do. And I'm going in kind of a diagonal so I can get more coverage that way. You just want to make sure that you're pulling your fabric pretty taut so you don't have a lot of bunching and everything is nice and smooth. I almost made it all the way around with the first strip, but I did need to add some more. So I'm just showing you, instead of gluing it to that outer ring, I glued it to the inner ring. That way I can cut, and my kind of seam where I'm going to glue the two pieces together is going to be on the back, and you're not going to be able to see it from the edge. So I'm just cutting, and then I'm going to glue my new strip right on top of that one that I just cut, making sure I use enough hot glue that it's going to hold really nicely. I'm then just going to keep wrapping until I get to the end. Now that I'm at the end, I don't want to glue right on that edge. Again, I don't want to be able to see my cut line, so I'm going in just a little bit from the edge. That way, when I cut off my excess fabric, I don't have anything like weird hanging off the side. I have no idea why my camera's doing this, guys. I'm so sorry. It's so irritating. But you're going to see I'm just going to cut that off, and then I'm just going to secure any of kind of those loose ends where I didn't get hot glue when I tacked it down the first time. Now that we have our base, we're going to be using this Snowflake that I also got from Dollar Tree, and we're going to be adding that to our wreath. So I'm first going to start off by cutting off that string using that plaster Waverly chalk paint. I am giving this a very messy kind of dry brush coat. I don't want to cover all of that brown wood color because I like that peeking through. So I'm just kind of slapping it on there, no rhyme or reason, and just leaving that other color peeking through as I go. To create a hanger for my wreath, I'm using some scrap ribbon that I had, and I'm just going to be kind of gluing it in a loop just right on the top. I just picked a spot. It doesn't really matter what spot the top is. I'm pretty sure I used kind of like the end where I did all that gluing as my top, but I'm just going to glue this down so that we have something to hang our wreath from. I am now ready to attach the snowflake to the wreath. At first, I just kind of laid it down straight and pumped some hot glue on the different points, but then I realized that it wasn't holding as well as I thought. So I actually realized that tilting it up so that I could really see where that snowflake was connecting to the raised part of the wreath form was really helpful, and I got a much more secure hold when I did this. Off camera, I made just a little finger bow with some ribbon that I had left over also from Dollar Tree. And you're going to see after I get my bow attached, I was kind of looking at it, and I like the bow because I used it to cover up the hole, but then there was like none of this ribbon anywhere else, and it looked kind of funky. So I have a fix for that. Since I had more of this ribbon, I decided to do a design on the inner part of the snowflake. So I'm making sure that that gold trim is facing down so that when I flip it over, you're going to see it on the right side of the snowflake, the side that we painted that's going to be on the front of our wreath. I'm just lining it up and using just a dab of hot glue to hold it down. And I did this all the way around, and I just think it adds something extra special to the wreath, and it ties in with that bow that I added, and it doesn't look odd any longer. At least I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Here is our finished wreath. I cannot wait to hang this on our front door. Right now it's just on our basement door just so I could take this video since we still have our Christmas stuff up. But once it comes down, I am so excited, and I love that little bit of ribbon peeking through. I am so glad that I added that. It really gives it something special. For our final winter DIY, I'm using one of these wooden organizers I found in the Crafter Square section at Dollar Tree. And instead of using the organizer side, I'm actually going to be using the back because I'm going to be making a sign. I wanted something a little bit larger. I was going to use one of those really cute houses, but it just was not big enough. I'm going to be going in with a sloppy coat of this Waverly Elephant chalk paint. Mine is watered down because I'm running out and I need to get some more, so it was kind of a mess. But I really like this mat that I used underneath. If you're interested in that, I can do a little like, hey, this is great video on this. This product is really cool. But after that had pretty much dried, I wanted to go in and do some distressing. So I'm using that Waverly plaster chalk paint again, and I am just going in ham, like just messy, no rhyme or reason, just making sure that I'm going horizontally with all of my strokes. It's going to look a little bit crazy at first because it's kind of globby, but I will be going in with some sandpaper here in a minute to just kind of smooth and blend all my dry distressing in. I just really like the look of dry brushing, but I do like to blend it in with some sandpaper so it doesn't look so harsh.
The way you move, no lie, I'm finna have to take that risk. I'm touching all them spots till you regret giving me lip. I'm forward in my cars, I know I've been on your nerve till I splurge, paying dues to them curves.
I'm just using a paper towel here to get all of the dust off from my sanding because I'm going to be applying some vinyl and I want it to stick really well. Both of these decals I printed off on my Cricut. I did not show that because I know not everyone has a Cricut, but you can always use a stencil. Dollar Tree even has those amazing wall clings. You can use stickers. You can even print something off of your computer and Mod Podge it on. There are so many different ways to create signs. I'm then going to be adding my next decal, cold weather, hot coffee. I love coffee. Everyone that knows me knows it. And then I just took whatever was left over on my brush just to blend in that coffee cup a little bit because it was standing out just a little bit too much for me. And here we have our finished product. This is going to be absolutely fabulous on my coffee bar for the winter season. And I like that I can still use that organizer side after winter is over and make a dual purpose DIY with this. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure you check out the video in the playlist that's going to be popping up on the screen sometime soon. And also smash that subscribe button so you can become part of our YouTube family. Bye.